going to be talking about fidgets. Fidgets, can they be helpful at church? Are they a tool or just another toy? Well, with fidgets, we really need to consider the goal. Are we trying to increase attention and concentration and focus? Or are we trying to decrease movement, help with anxiety? Another question is, does everyone benefit from a fidget? And the answer is no. Not everyone does. Some people are actually distracted by a fidget, and it can have the opposite effect of what we want. So let's look at who does benefit from a fidget. A person with a sensory need can actually need a fidget. So how do we know what fidget to give them? There are so many different fidgets out there. These fidgets here are ones that I have selected and used myself with a variety of people for a number of years. And I really like these particular fidgets because they are very durable, they work, they're inexpensive, they're easy to clean, and they actually provide a sensory need with very few items, and they meet a wide variety of sensory needs. And so choosing a fidget can be a little tricky. So we're going to learn about that right now. The first thing you want to do is look at what the person is naturally drawn to. What are they seeking? If that thing is harmful, inappropriate, or distracting to others, we may want to replace that with a fidget. For example, if someone has the habit of clicking a pen, and a pen can be pretty distracting if you're in a service or in a classroom full of people. It can get loud and really keep other people from learning. So that's an example of a behavior that we might want to replace with a fidget. This marble tunnel, for example, still allows me to move my hands and get that movement I need, but it's a quiet fidget, so it's not distracting to others. So for example, a tactile seeker, a person might be needing to feel things and touch things, and it's a sensory need, so they can't help themselves. They have to feel the different fabrics, or maybe they like to feel people's hair, and that might not be appropriate in a public setting such as church. So we can replace that sensory need with something that is more socially appropriate, such as a fidget that has a similar feel like this slick, smooth noodle. So I'd like to look at 4 different sensory areas and the fidgets that we can use to meet those sensory needs. They are tactile, visual, movement, and heavy pressure. The first one is tactile. That's what we were just talking about with the hair. There are lots of different tactile fidgets out there and lots of different tactile needs. Everyone has a different preference for textures, and we may need to look at what type of texture they are drawn to and seeking to know what type of fidget that they will need. For example, this spiky loop is really great. It has a lot of texture to it with these spiky knobs. And this is a great fidget for someone who needs something spiky. But some people may prefer something slick, like this noodle. Another texture people seek out is squishy. So a squishy ball, such as this gel ball, can be helpful. And sticky can even be a preference. So things like Play-Doh or this putty or clay can meet that sensory need. And remember, if it's a need, then they are going to reach out and get that need met, and it may be an inappropriate thing to do in public, but that's why we would want to provide a fidget for them. Another area we want to look at is visual. Visual fidgets can be difficult because they are often distracting to others. For example, things that have a flicker, like the fidget spinners, can really be distracting in a classroom full of people or in a service like at church. So a really great fidget for a person who has a visual need is this bubble timer. It does provide a lot of great visual input, but it's not loud and it's not a flickering fidget, so it doesn't distract other people around them. However, the bubble timer may not be enough input for some people. Some people actually might need something that has more of the spinning, such as the pinwheel, and that does have a little bit more input. Another area to consider is movement or a kinetic fidget. The marble tunnels are really wonderful movement for the hands. We can also use things like the squishy ball, and the kick band is great because it can provide movement to the hands as well as to the feet. The spiky loop is great and it provides a lot of movement to the hands. We can squeeze it, we can twist it, we can roll it back and forth. Also, the stretchy noodle can provide a lot of great movement for the hands as well. Proprioception or heavy pressure is another area to consider, and we want things that we can squeeze. Again, this spiky loop is wonderful because we can squeeze it and get heavy pressure to our hands. We can pull it, we can push it between our hands. So the spiky loop can provide a lot of great pressure. The kick band is also wonderful heavy pressure. We can pull it with our hands. The squishy ball can provide wonderful pressure. We can push it between our hands like this. Anything that provides heavy pressure can be really helpful for our proprioceptive seekers. So how to choose a great fidget at church? So I recommend that you have a simple sensory kit that allows a person to choose their own fidget. So you may want to have a variety of fidgets in a basket for those people who actually do need a fidget and allow them to choose their own fidget. Most of the time, people will naturally gravitate to what they need. Sometimes they might be drawn to the color or to something that looks fun, but if you keep offering them the same choices, that novelty will wear off very quickly and they'll really choose a fidget that they need. One thing that I usually do when I'm helping someone choose a fidget is let them know that it can be used as a tool and not a toy, that a fidget can actually help us learn. And if we're using a fidget correctly, we're really using it as a tool and not a toy. So if it's causing us to be distracted, then we're not meeting our goal for the fidget and it's not helping us with our attention and our concentration and our focus. Then we really may not want to use that fidget or a fidget at all. We want to remember our goal for the fidget is to increase attention, increase concentration, help with focus, decrease extra movement, and help decrease anxiety. When a person's sensory needs are met, they are calm, relaxed, and ready to learn. This is Sharla, your friendly OT, and I would be so happy to provide free consultation to you to help you choose the correct sensory tools for your church or ministry.